Welcome to this Wood Solutions Campus presentation on timber's environmental edge. Humans are part of the world's ecosystems, and our actions change those ecosystems. This can occur in different ways, both beneficially and detrimentally, and at different scales, locally, regionally and globally. Sustainable development aims to reduce the potential for detrimental change to ecosystems. The 1987 World Commission on Environment and Development defines sustainable development as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs.
Sustainable development means we need to be going on into the future, not impacting our planet and reducing our ability to survive. It's about being able to exist into the future using renewable resources.
The built environment, our buildings and their associated infrastructure, are an important component of the natural environment. Buildings form part of our living environment. They strongly influence our social well-being and health, and our economic well-being and our wealth. They also form an ecosystem for species that benefit from human activity. The built environment consumes large amounts of resources to make and to operate. These resources are embedded in the materials used to make the built environment and consumed directly during its operation. Both stages, making the buildings and operating them, generate considerable environmental impacts, particularly greenhouse gas emissions. Timber and wood products, combined with sustainable forestry practices, have a significant environmental edge on the use of alternative building materials and fuel. They store atmospheric carbon in the forest and as a material in the building. They are produced from a natural and a renewable resource, and they require very little energy to make.
Wood it's unique as far as a building product goes. It is sustainable. Trees are amazing. You can take a tree, you can harvest it, and the forest will either regenerate naturally or a replacement tree is planted, but in another generation, another 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you can actually go on and reharvest the same tree on the same site. So it is sustainable. It is an amazing carbon story. It's the only building product which is carbon positive. So by using timber, we're actually taking carbon out of the atmosphere, and we're actually it's a potential cure, or it's something in the toolbox to minimise global warming. So it's a great story. Also, you think of most forestry activities are in rural areas. There's a crisis in this country about good, well-paying jobs in rural areas. Forestry is one of those industries that deliver those really good and positive outcomes.
Our product, our basic raw material product, grows on the sun, solar energy. Our competitors, whether they be steel, bricks, they take a lot of heaps of energy to produce their products compared to ours.
In summary, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Buildings and associated infrastructure consume significant resources embodied in its materials and consumed in its operation. This consumption generates considerable environmental impacts, particularly greenhouse gas emissions. Timber and wood products store carbon, are renewable and are natural. And when combined with sustainable forestry practices, their use has a significant environmental edge on alternative materials and fuels.